Oh look, and we get to chase this boy again. I guess I'll chase the boy, because I have to get these out of the way at some point, and it just unlocks semi-useful nozzles. There are several nozzles in this game, other than the Spray Me Boy and the Lift Me Boy, is what I'll call the things, because it's not good to get things' names right, in my opinion. Where are you, sir? There you are. Yeah, that big spray is quite helpful. And you do it by... I just do it by mashing R and A. It's supposed to be like a jump spray sort of deal. And you're supposed to click down R as you do it. I just fucking mash the buttons. It seems to work just as well. I mean, most of the time. It works better on the GameCube controller when the clicking down of the button is a more pronounced action, but, you know, do what you can. Come on already. Yeah, and there's more Yoshi goop. These areas don't lead to anything that's, like, actually a thing, other than... They lead to secret shines. I don't know why I'm saying I don't consider them a part of the game. They are. It's just not a part of the main story or anything. It doesn't forward the very complicated and important plot of Bowser's illegitimate son, and so I don't care about it. This guy needs to quit it, because I've sprayed him many times, and I want to stop. Come on, dude. Yeah, there you go. Give me that shit. Cool. I'm only taking this so that it saves, but this is the turbo nozzle. It does this. Yeah, it makes you run into shit. It's great. I do like the little pitter-patter sound that Mario's feet make when he uses it. He uses water like a motherfucker, though, so it's really not incredibly, like, a great idea. Yeah, and it just makes you run into shit. And now I just want the hover nozzle back. Yeah, I, most of the time, just want the hover nozzle. I like the ability to correct myself in midair. Don't know why I didn't use the turbo nozzle to go faster there. Actually, I do know. It's because it makes it harder to control. But, whatever. We have... I believe 2 more missions in Pinna Park to do. I always did like this level, though. I feel like I've been shitting on it, but I do like it. I like theme park stuff in general, both in video games and in life. And yeah, we have some Yoshi business. But I always liked theme park stuff. I want to get into theme parks more. It's kind of hard to do when you don't really live near any notable ones and have no money or time to do it, but I'm very jealous of, like, theme park enthusiasts who I have only in the last couple of years learned are a thing. And I mean, I wasn't surprised to find that out. Why wouldn't they be? You know, theme parks are definitely a thing that a lot of people really like a very specific thing that they like. And where's Yoshi? Yeah, so you have to put the Yoshi on here. It has to be the right color. I believe you need it to be orange. But first you need to find the fruit that Yoshi wants, and I guess let's go see what that is. I think it's over here. Yeah. Oh, good, it wants the little boy, the booger from the tree that's right here. That makes it very easy. Nice. If anyone wants to tell me what this fruit is, then you can, and I'll probably forget about it and call it a gourd again. I think it might be a papaya. I don't know, I know nothing about fruits. I'm surprised it didn't make me drop it. But there we go, and... oh, you're already the right color. That's nice. Yeah, you gotta be careful not to... I usually would just take the shortcut through the water, but for obvious reasons, not an amazing idea. And that is what somehow transports you to the floating block dimension. And I don't remember this one being that hard. I'm of course going to have problems with it now that I've said that. But yeah, cause I really like just thinking about theme parks. They're an interesting, just cultural thing to me that exist. It's kind of a funny concept, and especially when you get into stuff like Disneyland. I mean, what's not fun and whimsical about it is, you know, the conditions of the people who work there, which are uniformly terrible. And that was brilliant of me. That was Disney sending its video game warriors to make me bad after I just criticized their business. But yeah, like, you had that report a while ago of an elderly woman who had worked as a Disneyland cast member in Anaheim for decades and then died in her car because she lives in her car in the parking lot of the park because they pay her minimum wage. And, yeah, it's pretty fucked. But on a from a cultural and, like, aesthetic standpoint, it is interesting to think about, okay, I need to stop doing this. This is clearly not working. It's interesting to think about Disneyland, especially having gone there recently. I went there, like, almost exactly a year ago. And it's weird being in an entirely... Disneyland is very tirelessly constructed, like, for the illusion, if that makes any sense. Like, more so than any park, the Disney parks are very good at selling that you are in a different place, like, outside of the actual world, and that place is just all Disney products and franchises. And for some people, that is, like, literal heaven. It's like, oh, thank God, oh, what the fuck, Mario? He grabbed onto the edge and then just fucking fell off, and I didn't even press any buttons. What are you doing? But anyway, there are some people, including some adults, which is very weird, that, you know, when they're just surrounded by Disney iconography, they feel the most sane and happy. And I get that feeling for some of it. Okay, here is a prime example of what I'm talking about with these fucking jumping physics, because I don't know if you could tell, I don't know if you could hear, but I was doing this, which was pressing the A button while I was still on that platform, and then Mario decided that the A button no longer means that means he jumps. And so he didn't do it, and didn't take my instructions, and did whatever he wanted, which was die. So thank you, Mario, for just overriding my control over you for your own stupid purposes. Just let me bitch about Disneyland, Mario, Jesus. Fuck! That was entirely my fault. Okay, I'm gonna stop bitching about Disneyland until I can actually get to the end of this level. Okay, I'm back at this part. And this part isn't even hard, so I shouldn't have a problem, but we'll fucking see. We've wasted countless lives on this mission already. And I'm gonna give this time, because before I tried to be quick about it, and the game punished me for it. Okay, and then just do it again. And there you go. And then do this. And do I want to try for that? Yes. Brilliant. Alright, but as I was saying, I went to Disneyland recently as an adult, and I didn't really get that feeling. I got it for some things, because there are some Disney things that, as I have talked about extensively in previous videos in this LP already, about how, you know, I attribute niceness and security with the media that I was consuming at a time where I just generally felt more innocent and secure, and was more innocent and secure, arguably. And that extends to Disney stuff, of course. And those things are in the park, and they're nice. And also, theme park stuff is fun. Roller coasters and games are fun. And Disney has some good ones. So those things mixed together, like, definitely, as we'll say, bring out the kid in me and whatnot. And I was more appreciating the thorough Disney aesthetic in terms of the, like, construction and layout of the park. I was more, like, admiring that from, like, just an art direction sort of standpoint. Just, like, you know, in terms of set decoration and characters and everything, it was pretty great. As far as coordination went, it was kind of hit or miss depending on what attraction it was, but that's, you know, they're open every day, almost, and they do these things thousands of times a day, and they include, like, robots and people dying of heat stroke in fucking 80-pound Goofy suits, so things are bound to go wrong. But, you know, for the most part, it's a fairly well-oiled entertainment propaganda machine, and it's a fun thing to be in for the most part. So it's mostly enjoyable experience, but because you're so surrounded by Disney products and properties, it's, at least for someone like me who has a sense of self-awareness about the world around them and the, you know, sort of commercial space that they occupy, you know, the construction of it all and the, you know, the artifice of it all, and, you know, the very real flaws and abuses with the company and its underlying ethos. All of the problems with that are very prominently packaged in everything in the park and are constantly following you, and so those problems, at least for me, are kind of impossible to not think about while you're there, and so it's kind of this, like, sense of vague happiness and nostalgia mixed with this, like, very dirty underbelly. Kind of like when you watch a really good movie from that has, like, a lot of hallmarks of the very problematic era that it was made in. You know, much like a lot of old Disney movies. You know, they're like, oh, this has all the ingredients to make me feel very nice, but it has all of these cultural hallmarks of people and ideas about America and history and everything that are just very backwards and propagandistic. Anyway, I have now successfully rambled about Disney while fucking shambling around Delfino Plaza for like 2 minutes. So I'm going to throw these bananas in the water, and I'm going to call it a day for now. I am hoping that I have reached the... Oh, there are bananas up here, too. I'm hoping that I have reached the end of the... what's it called? The sort of hiatus between moving out of my old apartment and the going into the new one. I hope that's over by the time this video is going up, and we can just continue with a normal schedule once I'm in the new place. So, I will end by standing on here. Next time I'll start either Noki Bay or Serena Beach. They're both open to me, and it just kind of depends on whether or not I want to be annoyed by the first mission in Serena Beach. So, I will see you then for either of those things.